probably the reasons people with ADHD die younger are not to do directly with having ADHD, biologically speaking, although we don't know that. That's not what I think it is. I think it's to do with the problems that people with ADHD might experience. So that kind of is often the culmination of a sort of history of kind of adverse experiences. So many people with ADHD will have experienced long histories of being told they're naughty, stupid, living in families where ADHD wasn't known about and therefore families struggling to cope, numerous unmet support needs from an early age that then culminate in kind of poor socioeconomic status, perhaps not the jobs that people would have wanted to get to. So there's a kind of history of adverse experiences that could be tackled on social and structural levels, hopefully by interventions in education, employment, and healthcare. So that's one key thing. I think there's also lots of health problems that people with ADHD are more likely to have, particularly mental health problems. So we know that people with ADHD are much more likely to experience anxiety than people without, and they are unfortunately much more likely to die by suicide. They're also more likely to die in accidents, probably as a consequence of impulsivity and hyperactivity, and potentially the final thing, which they're much more likely to be addicted to substances, which therefore obviously has a knock-on impact on accidents, but also health risks anyway, so smoking, drinking, eating too much. And in our study, although we didn't look directly at this, people did seem to smoke more, did seem to have more mental health problems, and had more sort of respiratory type problems, which you might assume would be due to smoking. So I think there is a kind of significant, that those would all be modifiable risk factors that we could potentially change. Finally, I think that a more general point is that people with ADHD might struggle to interact with systems that are about neurotypical people, and therefore might adaptations to those might also help, like making sure appointments are more clear and easy to organise, for example.